Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast on SportsZone Chicago. I'm Ivan Vargas. We're waiting for my partner, Luke Nettles. He's going ahead and powering up that computer and getting it ready to start and join me here in a second. But it was a big day. Hey, Merry Christmas to you and yours, first and foremost. We missed a game yesterday, but I was like, hey, man, I'm too Christmas out to go ahead and come on. It was a good game for a little bit, and then it wasn't. The New Orleans Saints ended up beating the Minnesota Vikings with a score of 52-33. We had a historic day yesterday. Alvin Kamara, 6 rushing touchdowns, ties an NFL record. We all know that. Us here in Chicago know that Gale Sayers, had a game once against the San Francisco 49ers back in the day where he had 6 touchdowns. A couple were rushing. I believe one was passing, and then he had a punt and a kick return for a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. But Alvin Kamara was everywhere yesterday. The Saints, the Saints really just manhandled the Minnesota Vikings at the point of attack. There was really no chance. It just seemed, and the Vikings did okay rushing the ball. We know that they're a top 10 offense, but the Saints, there was no contest. It was like a hot knife through butter. They were able to establish the run early. They were really able to impose their will. Drew Brees had 19 of 26, 311 yards. He had 2 picks. Drew Brees is not looking that great passing the ball, but when you have an Alvin Kamara who can, have 22 carries for 155 yards and then be spelled by Latavius Murray, 12 for 17, it's a great thing to have with an aging veteran quarterback. I mean, one of the greats, but it's almost as if we're watching the whining moments of Drew Brees' career, just like Phillip Rivers in Indianapolis. What up, bro?
What up, man?
No, much, man. I was just talking about that game last night. The Vikings just got manhandled by the New Orleans. Alvin Kamara, I was telling our viewers, Alvin Kamara was just everywhere. Just historic night. 22 carries, 155 yards, but 6 rushing touchdowns. You allowed that man to just walk into the end zone at certain times. And, if you're the Vikings, I understand that you got old, you know what I mean? And then you're trying to get young, but you have to put up some type of fight. I don't know if the coaching staff of Minnesota stays next year. They might want to think about, just redoing the whole thing, canning the whole thing and getting a fresh faces in the building. But the Saints did their job. They're still in the running, 11-4, still in the running for that number one overall seed in the NFC. And man, it's hard to see any other team that could match the Green Bay Packers right now, at least in the NFC, with the defense as well as the offense to keep up.
Yeah, dude, it was pathetic. I mean, it was pathetic. And don't get it twisted. I mean, this is the Minnesota Vikings. It's not the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
It's I'm just saying in the Saints' outlook.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good for them. Like if you're letting the Minnesota Vikings put up almost damn near 50 points on you, you're not going to last long in the playoffs. I promise you.
Well, the Vikings added 33, and 33 was like, man, dude, like, are you like?
That's what I'm saying. Like 33 points. If you're allowing teams in the playoffs to score 33 points, you're not going to have this kind of performance every day. If you're Drew Brees, I don't care. This is the Minnesota Vikings we're talking about. I'm sorry, bro. In the playoffs, I'm sorry. If you're giving up 33 to the Minnesota Vikings, you're not going far. I'm sorry. Your defense has to play better. Your defense isn't lax. That's the thing that was like blowing my mind. Like when did the Minnesota Vikings become a track meet with the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, I mean they have some weapons, but it's you would expect a defense like the Saints, a better defense like the Saints, to be able to go ahead and pretty much lock down a rushing attack of Dalvin Cook, which they did. They kept him under 100 yards, 73 yards and a touchdown. But Kirk Cousins had 291 and 3 touchdowns. Through the air was a problem. And I mean, you got to give credit to the Saints for keeping up on offense, but you're right. 33 points on defense in the playoffs is not going to get it done, especially with a team like the Packers, the Rams,
exactly.
Other teams that can put up points. You have to be able to keep it close. And you had mentioned it yesterday. You didn't know if it was like a Vegas day where it's like, all right, it's Christmas Day. Put up as much points as you want, make it a track meet, do it for the fans. And give Alvin Kamara 6 touchdowns, so the fantasy people are happy. Like I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I'm sure the over under was brutal. Like,
oh God!
Like I'm telling you, like
we're talking about what was it? 50? I said 52 to 33. It
was like 95 points.
85 points. You had to
right.
Were you gonna decide 85 was the over? You're gonna bet the over? No, that's insane. If you're the Vikings, you were still in a playoff. You're still in the hunt. I mean, the Bears and the Cardinals they had to lose too, but you're still in the hunt. Mm-hmm. And you just went ahead and laid down. It was ugly to watch. That's why I said there might be a changing of the guard in Minnesota, because you've reached a point with this team. Like the defense is nowhere to be. The defense that we saw, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, that's nowhere to be found anymore. You have it's a shell of itself. You have a bunch. Like I said, it got old, then it got real young. And you got was it Harrison Smith? You have Kendricks, although I believe he's out. You have some leaders on that defense still, but it's not the same team. And for me, I think you just need to look. If you're not going to fire coach, everything needs to be up for grabs in Minnesota, because you don't want to go ahead and just have this top 10 offense when your defense can't stop a soul. There's no point. There's no point in having a guy, having guys like Adam. I could see Adam Thielen possibly getting traded. I could see guys getting moved in order to find pieces on that defense. You just have to rebuild that defense in Minnesota if you expect to make the playoffs. Justin Jefferson, man, that guy. I mean, he just continues to shine. Adam Thielen had 97 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson, 85 yards. The reason I said a Thielen, he's probably not going to go because he's a Minnesota native. You know what I mean? He's
right.
He's a fucking through and through, and I really don't think. I just threw his name out there because he's a bigger player. But some of your bigger players need to be, possibly need to be in question if you're going to keep them or not.
There's definitely going to be changes. It's going to be reworked. Like I'm saying, like I said, Minnesota. Man, I don't know. It's a tough go for them because you have Dalvin Cook, you have Jefferson. You're not getting rid of either of those guys.
No.
And Cousins, you paid him the big money. So
I think they shot themselves in the foot when they went and paid. I mean, of course they.
100% they did. 100% they did.
A lot of people understand that, as do I. That they shot themselves in the foot giving him all that money, and now that you had it, you could have a chance if you didn't give him that amount of money to retool. I mean, you gave him the money when you had the team. Mm-hmm. Now you're looking back at it and you're like, oh shit! Like,
what did I do?
Now you got a guy that's. I mean, he's okay in spots. He's okay when you're coaching him being okay. Like I said, under 25 passes. 25 is the limit. Don't let him go to 30 plus because the ball's going to find a defender. The ball will find a defender. 30 attempts for Kirk Cousins. And for me, I'm just like, you got to try to find a way to add more draft capital to really truly give yourself a chance with majority of the guys you have. I don't know who you get rid of. I don't know how they do it. But I feel like they need to really put a focus on getting guys back getting guys back on defense. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump to today's games because we got a 3-game set on Boxing Day here. Tampa Bay, your team, the Bucs versus the Lions, and this matchup back 20 years ago would have probably been a premier matchup. Barry Sanders and against that.
It's not a premier matchup. It's a
massacre.
No, it's not even that. It's an NFL films Barry Sanders highlights. Like if you ever go back and watch like Barry Sanders highlights, like every single time,
It's Tampa.
It's Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? Like, it's brutal.
Every single Barry Sanders has John Lynch on it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, like, I mean, and that's just every team 20 years, 20 years ago, actually, like, about 20, 21 years ago. I mean, every single highlight is just like against Tampa Bay. It's ridiculous, but he's not there now, and I feel like Tampa's they're gonna take this one. They have to. They're like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You're going to be without Ronald Jones. Rojo's got he's in COVID protocol.
Right. Still, yeah, which is unfortunate, man, because I would like to have that guy. But I just feel like it's Detroit. But like, this is Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford seems to play well against better teams. You know what I mean? Like, the better the team, the better he plays. So.
You were there in that Lions game. We were downstairs in the basement of that Lions game against the Bears. And I was like, they're gonna find a way. I was like, Matt Stafford, Damani, Lucky Lefty from the Smoke Fellas. He said the same. He's like, man, don't just at halftime. He's like, don't just sit here and be complacent. They still have Matt Stafford on the other side. I don't care what the talent is. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have Galladay. I didn't believe they had Marvin. I didn't think they had Marvin Jones out there. Actually, I think Marvin Jones was off the team. But either way, but they didn't have weapons.
Right.
Matt Stafford orchestrated a fourth quarter comeback. You cannot sleep on the Lions when they have a guy like that. Like Matt Stafford, it's Matt Stafford and nobody else. So if you're not stopping their best player and he beats you, I mean, you deserve that loss. You deserve that loss. And I said it all the time. I was like, the Bears deserve to lose that game. You had it and you let one guy beat you. And for you guys, you have to find a way to establish the run with Fournette. I know he's been a disappointment, a huge disappointment for the Bucs this season. You have to find a way to establish the run. I know you got I forgot your backup, your rookie running back's name. Backup. Man.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either, to tell you the truth.
Fleeting me right now. But either way, you have to use him. You have to make sure that Tom isn't throwing 52 times. You cannot allow that to happen. You can't give him – you can't leave – look, and this is what I really mean. You can't put him in the pocket to be a target that many times. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom, you have to limit the amount of hits he's going to take. And if you keep marching him, if you keep, parading him in the pocket like that, he's going to take some shots and he's going to like these guys, like the players are watching Tom, Drew, Phillip, Ben Roethlisberger, the guys that were, the quarterbacks for 20 years?
Yep.
Those guys are old now. Not that they can't play, but their skills are diminishing. We see Big Ben. Big Ben can't shed a tackle anymore. Big Ben's MO was, you can hit him, but you ain't gonna bring him down, and he's gonna keep the play going. He was that way. The things that made these quarterbacks great, the abilities that allowed them to make plays are beating. So you got a team. You got a guy like Tom. You can't put him in the pocket. You can't let him sit in the pocket 52 times and expect for him not to throw a pick. You have to be able to run the football if you're the Bucs.
Yeah. Or, I mean, sometimes yes, that is the MO of just about every team ever. Run the ball first, it'll open up the pass game. But sometimes I feel like our passing game could be a little bit better. 52, yeah, you're right. I don't want him back there throwing 52 times. But, you have guys like Scotty Miller, Justin Watson. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a 30-yard play every damn time. Yeah. Like, just run a drag route, 2 drag routes, crisscross each other. You know what I mean? Like, things that'll help Tom Brady establish, get his confidence, get his rhythm, all that good stuff. But start throwing, and then backing that defense back. Like, okay, we have to cover. We can't send anybody to blitz anymore. We have to cover because he's killing us with the pass. And without Ronald Jones, Ronald Jones is our battering ram. Fournette is, watch, he'll probably have a great day today, but
Fournette,
I don't know.
Fournette, the way he's been running, the way he's been playing, it makes me think that he's hurt. It makes me think that almost like he got damaged goods or something, or he just don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, or he's just playing football because there's a paycheck involved.
It's hard to say, man. He's terrible.
I've never seen a guy like he was. The reason you got him was because he was a starter in Jacksonville. But maybe, who's down there? Marone? Is Marone down in Jacksonville? Who's the coach? When he got cut, maybe that was the reason. Maybe it was, all right, besides some of the selfishness and some of the antics and everything, your skills are diminishing. Yeah. And maybe, I don't know if Fournette puts in the work. I mean, he always had the build. He was a monster at LSU, just running everybody and their mama over.
Man.
And then now he gets to the NFL and he's quiet as a church mouse. Like, I don't know what's wrong with Leonard Fournette, but today that whatever rust or whatever shit he's got on his mind, that needs to go away because you're going to get the ball.
Yeah, and you can't blame the offensive line because Ronald Jones puts up 100 yards a game.
Right.
So it's not the line. I just don't feel like he has the burst. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, like I agree with everything you're saying. It's disappointing to say the least. I think everybody was disappointed in Leonard Fournette when he got to the NFL because what we saw him do in college was just sunning everybody. Like, I mean, he was sunning everybody. Like, son, get off me, son. Like, 200, 300 yards just blowing through people.
He was more Derrick Henry than Derrick Henry was in college.
Right. Just a tank, man. But then he got to the NFL, and he had like one or two good seasons with Jacksonville early. And then you're right, But I mean, Jacksonville must be like another black hole because I mean, you have Bouye, you had Ramsey, you had Ngakoue. I mean, like, there's just so many people that have just fled that place. So I don't know what's going on down there in Jacksonville, but yeah, he's not exactly what you want. You thought you were getting something and you got something else. So
Jamar Huck chimed in and he said he's a gap scheme runner, but they zone block. I was like, well, then that's the coaching. Then that's coaching. Then you got to know what kind of that goes back. I talk about Matt Nagy all the time. That goes back to the coach. So it's Bruce and Byron Leftwich.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out, hey, man, this guy ain't doing this well. All right, well, we got to adjust him and do this. But you got to implement things that are different to fit certain guys. And it benefits. I'm telling you, look what's happening to the Bears. Even though it's three shitty teams. But look what you're actually producing because if you were running the same type of schemes and the same type of play calling that you were in the first half, I guarantee you'd have the same numbers on offense. Mm-hmm. So making an adjustment as a head coach or as an offensive coordinator, that should be the key to getting Leonard Fournette free. And if they haven't figured that out, like I don't think they're going to figure that out here in the last couple games. But I mean, maybe it's never too late to make an adjustment and find success. I just feel like, with a guy like Fournette, you should have been trying to find where he fits from
his
the
niche.
start.
Yeah, you got to find his niche. Yeah, and it's it's just unfortunate because Ronald. I don't know. Like I said, it can't be a blocking thing because Ronald Jones puts up 100 yards probably with those same play calls. So it's Fournette, out of the backfield. I'm not exactly stunned by his pass catching abilities coming out of the back of the field. But yeah, dude, they've got to do something. And maybe who knows? Maybe he is the reason they throw 50 something times a game, just because like they just pull away from him. He just like he can't get it done, so we got to go a different route. So, but like I said, man, they have guys like Scotty Miller. They have Justin Watson. They still have the trio. They got Godwin, Evans, Brown. But I almost feel like those guys always get thrown down the field. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why not a Scotty Miller? Why not a Justin Watson underneath? Back them up. Back that, make that defense back up and say, hey, listen, you're not going to play 8 in the box against us. Like, we're going to dump it right over your head every time you drop this guy down and you blitz. We're going to dump it right over your head, and we'll gladly take 5 yards at a time because guess what? We're running the clock. We're limited in your offense. And if we get up, then you guys – I mean, actually, it's scary to say Detroit is a team that can come back. If you give them a glimpse of light, they can do it.
You have veteran guys on there like a Matthew Stafford. First of all, this is Matthew Stafford's team, so you have that guy. Like if he was on any other team, besides the Lions, maybe not any other team, but if he was on a team that contends, if Matt Stafford was on the Colts, you know what I mean, or if Matt Stafford was on the Steelers, like we're talking about a multiple Super Bowl champion, like multiple Super Bowls for Matt Stafford. Put him in an organization that was competent.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Stafford's he's a Hall of Fame quarterback as is.
Yep.
You put him with competent coaches and a competent organization. We're talking about maybe Matt Stafford as being, he might be he might be considered as a top 3. It might be Brady, Rodgers, Stafford. In my eyes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, obviously now in recent years you have Mahomes and such, but in his prime, it was like Brady, Manning, and then Manning started getting old, and then you know what I'm saying Matt Stafford he should be in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He's with he's on the Detroit Lions, but
he's also suffered from like never having a legit running game.
Correct.
Like imagine him being on like Tennessee, or like with Derrick Henry, somewhere where he doesn't have to throw the ball 50 times.
Right.
I mean, he can pick you apart and he can put up points quick.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and move on because I believe in what was it, dude, Swift and Adrian Peterson teaching him. I feel like that's going to benefit that kid coming down the line. So the NFC North better look out because I feel like the Lions now, the way that they reacted, they know that something needs to change. The way that they fired their coach and GM, like boom, middle of the season, let's go, get out of here, somewhere new. They want it. I think they just hired Chris Spielman as the president of football operations. I'm just like, I think that's a good hire. You got a guy, you got an old school guy that demands respect, that can bring some type of toughness back to this team. Because I feel like the Lions have always been a team that's like, you're this close, like oops, you almost got it. And
right, gotta be a little quicker than that.
They gotta be a little quicker. They just never get to the top because they end up making just foolish football choices. But anyway, let's not talk about the Lions. Like I said, I think the Bucs. Let's go ahead and get your prediction. I think it's going to be Bucs 33, Lions 15.
I'll go 35 Bucs, 21 Detroit.
35-21. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next game, big one for me. Big one for the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona takes on San Francisco today at 3:30 after the first game, the Bucs and the Lions. Look, as beat up as the Niners are, that's a live dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody says. The 49ers are a live dog. They lost to the Cardinals earlier this year, September 13th. It was the first game of the year. Cardinals won 24-20. But the 49ers, they're not, like I said, don't sleep on them. Just because they can still run the football. I think Mullins is out, so I think it's was it Beathard starting today?
Oh,
but
yeah,
you're getting Kittle back. You're getting Kittle back. You're able to run the football. Your defense still puts up a fight. And if like I said, the thing about stopping Kyler Murray is just stop his legs.
Yeah,
stop his legs. Kyler Murray's best weapon is his legs. Right? I know he could throw. I know he could throw the ball out of the gym. I know he could pass.
Yeah,
but
from anywhere.
But he's not a polished passer.
Right.
And his asset is his legs because he could get 150 yards and still have you worried about him running and just still beat you over the top late in the game. You have to be able to slow down Kyler Murray on the ground. That's gonna be the main thing for the Niners. I think they could keep up because, like I said, they could still run the football. They could still run the football, and for me, if you could control the clock, limit your mistakes on defense, I think the Niners could win. Like I'm hoping, I'm rooting for the Niners and the Rams in the next couple of weeks because
you have to
some way somehow. And and it's funny because like the Rams are taking on the Seahawks this week, so it's even more important because if you end up losing,
double whammy,
exactly, you get the double whammy. If the Rams end up beating the Seahawks, right? The Rams will be sitting, they'll be sitting nice, but they still have to win. They can't lose the last game of the season with the Seahawks right there because right now I think the Seahawks have the upper. I believe they have the advantage over the Rams, but these are going to be must-win games for the NFC West, and that benefits. That, like I said, it benefits me because if we could get one of those teams, the Niners or the Rams, to beat this Cardinals team, that might put us right in. I mean, we still have to beat the Packers in Week 17, but they could help us out themselves by just going ahead and clinching everything. I think if they win one more game, I think they just have to win. And I think they clinched the number 1 seed this week against the Tennessee Titans. And that's going to be a big game in itself. But, going back to the Niners-Cardinals game, I just feel like the Niners, even though they've been injury riddled. They're still out. They're still a live dog. They still have fight in them, and they're going to come out trying to play Grinch, against the Arizona Cardinals. And I think they could do it. I think there's an upset in the air, or and if not, it's going to be a very close game. I don't see it being a Cardinals blowout, regardless of the record. I just think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game, but I feel like the Niners might get it. I'm going to go 23-20.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I mean, the only way that the Cardinals are winning this game is Chase Edmonds and Kenyon Drake. They have to be able to run. They have to be able to run. If they shut down that run, and you contain Kyler Murray and force him to be an actual quarterback, not a video game quarterback,
right?
Everything works in your favor. If you're the Niners, you've done your job. That's it. Game over. But if he starts getting loose and he starts making plays on the run, and they can't contain the hop, and the run game gets going, even in passing out of the backfield. I mean, you put Kenny Drake and Chase Edmonds in the backfield there, and use them as other receivers as well. That could spell some problems for the 49ers, but. Like I said, it really boils down to Kyler Murray and which Kyler Murray do you want to face?
Right.
Would you rather give up 20 yards on the ground every 4 downs, or would you rather force him to maybe get one play down the field every 4? You know what I mean? Like it's a do or die, pick your poison type of thing. And like we saw it before. I don't remember what game we were calling, but we saw before. We talked about Kyler Murray. And they shut him down, and they forced him to be a pocket quarterback, and it was not pretty.
Oh, that was the Seahawks game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think it was the Seahawks game.
It was the Seahawks.
Yeah, they shut him down. They just kept him because we know how bad the Seahawks defense is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cardinals went ahead and beat them. What was it, 2 weeks prior?
Mm-hmm.
And beat them. And it was contain Kyler Murray. Don't let him beat you. Don't let him beat your legs. And he'll either run into a mistake in the air or he won't find success at all. They need to keep him rolling. They need to keep him. They need to keep that offense, like you said, even 2 running backs in the backfield. You could go ahead, one on each side. You could just flip the play, look, boom, escape route. 1,000, 2,000, slip out into the backfield because I'm rolling this way, looking deep. And if no one's there, I'm dumping to you for 5. There's our running. Boom. We just gotta, I think that's going to be the key for the 49ers today. They're going to be motivated, dude.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be motivated. They know that coming back next year, they're going to have a solid squad. I feel like on defense at least, and there's players still playing for their job. It's not guaranteed anybody, even on a winning team. It's not guaranteed you're going to get a roster spot next season. There's plenty of things that that come up. There's plenty of situations that occur, and you really have to play through the entire season in order to solidify yourself. And even then, you might find success in free agency somewhere else. But there's benefits in playing through the season. And 49ers know that. Players know that. You can't just quit. You can't just lay down. You won't find another job. If somebody sees you and you're just being a lazy ass out on the field, you ain't gonna find a job out there. You won't even be on the team. You have to be in training camp. But all right, let's go ahead. I got you. Did you give me a score?
I'll go. I hate this kind of matchup, but I'm gonna go with the Cardinals, and I'm gonna call it 27-23 on the Cardinals.
27-23. It's still a close game. I mean,
it's a division game. Right. We know how the division games work. We just saw a great one the other day. With the Bengals and the Steelers, and this is a division that has talent. I mean, it's Seattle, it's the Rams, it's the Cardinals, it's the 49ers. So these are all pretty competitive teams. I mean, you're talking about a Super Bowl contender 1 year out. Yeah,
this has been like the best division in the past maybe decade.
It's come along for sure.
Competitive division in the past I want to say past decade, maybe 15 years, close to it. It's going to be a dog. I feel like this one's going to be a dogfight. That middle game today, I really do. It'll be a good one.
It will.
Last game for today is going to be a good one as well. I believe The 9-5 Miami Dolphins, the surprising 9-5 Miami Dolphins, go ahead and take on the Las Vegas Raiders, 7-7 with Chucky. And the Raiders have the number 12 offense. Dolphins come in with the number 18 defense, but the Dolphins are playing well as a team. Toss out those stats and the record. They're playing well as a team, as a unit. And the Raiders they're just not, like we've seen the Raiders last few games. It's been shaky, man. Like I understand where they're going as a team. I think right now they know how to beat KC, and that's pretty much it. But you still need to add players. Like the defense still needs to be worked on. The offensive line still needs to be worked on. You need to find a way to get Josh Jacobs going. Like, why isn't Josh Jacobs a household name by now? The guy runs like a beast. So I feel like you have a lot of work still you have to go with Mike Mayock and John Gruden, but they're on the right track. I don't see them winning today, though. I see the Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa I see them running amok. Not necessarily on offense, but as a team, like I said, offense and defense both balanced today. I think they're gonna keep the Raiders in check.
Yeah, it's the Raiders have been a little shaky. The one bright spot, like Marcus Mariota, but you got to continue to use him like how you used him last game. Like that first half, it was just, oh God, it was ugly. Second half, man, boom, here he came, legs, boom, 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 legs, ran, boom, 20 yards here, 15 there, 10 there, 5 there. And Josh Jacobs, we saw, I think it was like 2 or 3 games ago, he kind of had an ankle thing. Wasn't like a bad enough one to like take him out of the game, but he was a little gingerly. And to me, ever since that day, I can't remember who they were playing, but like I said, it's been about 3 weeks ago. But ever since that day, he has not been the same Josh Jacobs. And the Raiders go as he goes. When he's doing well, they're doing well. When he's doing bad, they're doing bad.
And for a team that drafted, in a draft that was deep at receiver, for a team that drafted majority receivers, like for a team that drafted all receivers, you would think you'd have to establish run game. You would think that John Gruden knew his run game was good. It was pretty much established, and it was going to work. And to be honest, I don't think it's been working as well as this year as he thought, because you're seeing the Raiders struggle a lot. Like, you're seeing them pass a lot, and you're not seeing them find success on the ground. Like I said, in these last few games, especially with teams with winning records. Is it Derek Carr? I don't know if it's necessarily Carr. I think Carr finds success. If you find success on the ground, there's a lot to be questioned with the Raiders. I feel like they're on the right track, though. I just think that this next draft and this next free agency period are going to be crucial.
That's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge because right now you're pretty much going with Derek Carr because you have to go with Derek Carr. So are you going to go ahead and draft a quarterback in the first round? Are you ready to draft a quarterback in the first round right now? Do you continue to build on that defense? I don't understand I'm kind of confused on where they go now, because I felt like they had everything they wanted, especially even with Derek Carr. You could just, try to re-sign him and maybe go live with him for the next couple of years. But at this point, I'm just like, well, he can't, like, there's no line there. He can't really do much. The push there is, there is no push there. Josh Jacobs ain't getting yards. I just feel like this year is going to be crucial, because you could end up being a mediocre team for a few years, or you can end up hitting and finding success and being all right, they're here now type of team and make the playoffs next season. I don't think the Raiders at the beginning of the season thought that they were going to, miss the playoffs.
Yeah, no, the Raiders are, they're in limbo. Derek Carr is not happy right now, just because Mariota did get the nod. I've seen grumblings he's had, but he's also been underwhelming. The last good year that Derek Carr had, unfortunately for him, ended with like a broken leg. They get Ruggs. I mean, I don't know, man. Obviously you can't talk about the Raiders without talking about their brightest spot, and that's Darren Waller. Like, that guy is phenomenal. His story's phenomenal.
Look, Kelsey, Kittle, Waller. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
You want to talk about Kelsey and Kittle all day long, do it because they're great tight ends. They really are. But if you're not talking about Darren Waller, you're wrong. Period.
Right.
You're
yeah.
wrong.
And it's just a it's just a good story all the way around. His play, the things he's overcome is phenomenal. And what a compliment to any quarterback that comes in there. It just bam, he's right there. He's right over the middle. We've seen that guy put up 200-yard games. And I think he's going to do it again today. I'm not saying the Raiders are going to track meet the Dolphins, but I think there's a lot to be said. I don't think they can stop Darren Waller. I think Mariota. That's the other thing that Waller's benefited from is Mariota. He had that rapport with Carr, and then Mariota came in. And I was kind of like, oh man, is this going to change everything? And boom, they start clicking. So I look for the Raiders to beat Miami. I do think it's going to be more of a game than everybody thinks it's going to be, and I'm gonna put it at Raiders 27 and Miami 24.
Ooh, with the Raiders victory, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders at the Death Star.
See that, it's gonna be big for them because, like I said, they're on the bubble. They're really fighting. But I don't think anything else is gonna change. I really don't. I think they're gonna be out of it. They're on the bubble at number 9 right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think anything's gonna change, but we'll see. I mean, you need to win this game. You need to beat the Dolphins. You need. If you don't beat the Dolphins, game over. And you have a shot to do that right now. Today, I feel like it's going to be the Dolphins over the Raiders. I think it's going to be 28 to we'll give them 17, 28-17 Dolphins over the Raiders today. I just think the Dolphins work better as a team. That's just me. I think that there's a lot still to be fixed with the Raiders. Although I think they're on the up and up. Mm-hmm. I think that it's just not complete. It's not a complete fit. It's not a finished product. And you're gonna 7-7 is cool. If you win today, you keep your hopes alive. You win next week, and maybe you're in the playoffs. You know what I mean? But it's still a positive year. If you could get to a 9-7, if you, even at 8-8, I think it's a positive year because it's like you have talent now. Like you have things to look forward to, and now you just need to go ahead and find the glue. You need to find the things that make it all work.
Right. And the Raiders, they didn't do well against that. I mean, they damn near were the Jets' first only victim, to tell you the truth. They got lucky on a Hail Mary last, hurrah. Here we go, throw it up there. And Ruggs went and ran and got underneath it. But, yeah, I mean, the Raiders have looked really good at times this season, especially against the Chiefs. And then you see them play some other teams, and you're just kind of like, what's going on here with the Raiders? Well, I don't get it. But, it could be ugly if Tua, if he's able to use his feet, it's going to be ugly. But then again, I feel like the Raiders have the better receivers, and that's what's going to push them into the victory.
Well, we'll see. All right, guys, man, thanks for joining us. It's going to be a fun day. Tomorrow's going to be a fun day, too. I can't believe it. 3 days. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The NFL just wants to take over.
Hopefully they play defense today, unlike yesterday.
Yeah, unlike yesterday. I don't want to see a track meet. And honestly, it wasn't – at a certain point, I just knew. You just knew that it's New Orleans. You just
man, at a certain point, I knew, this is rigged. There's no way that they're putting up, not almost 90 points. The Vikings? What? The who? Who? The Vikings are all of a sudden the Saints. I was like, come on, bro. This is when other time has the Saints defense got gouged? It looked like the Vikings could just move whenever they wanted to.
It did. It really did.
And I was like, what the hell, man? This is crazy. But it is what it is. It's the fans love the scoring, I guess.
Football isn't just watching good football, regardless of the if it's your team and it's 13-3 game, you're gonna be more into it than anybody else. They're trying to pander to the casual fan, which is cool, man. If you like football that much, you want to watch football, that's fine. But I don't like watching shitty games. Like, I mean, it's just too much. Like, there's no defense involved. There's no struggle. If there's no struggle, then what's the excitement for? If there's no struggle, you know that team's going to walk in.
Yeah, at some point it becomes tennis.
Yeah, at some point it becomes the NBA.
Your head just going left, right, left, right. You know what I mean? Like it's like I said, and if the Saints are playing defense like that throughout the playoffs, bye.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye. You're gone. You're done. You can't allow these other teams in the NFC that are on your heels. You can't allow that, or else you're going home. It's plain and simple. Go back to Naperville, Sean Payton.
Sean Payton will be all right. He's still probably that franchise's greatest coach of all time.
Oh no, without a doubt. But I'm just saying, like, if you're allowing 25, 35 points, your defense is in bad shape, bro, and you're going to be watching the Super Bowl from home with us.
That's on his defense, though.
I get it, but at some point, man, like, dude, come on.
He's a head coach, and he has to be like, "Hey, correct that shit." But I don't think he needs to go ahead and meddle with that defense too much.
No, that defense is good enough to. They have to know that, like, yo, this has to tighten up, or they're going to get ate up. And I think they know that. Like, I bet you, as great as it was to have a victory for them down there, that like there was some. Hey guys, it's almost playoff time. Are we gonna start playing some defense? Like there's definitely some things going on that they need to tighten up, and I think they will. I think they'll buckle down a little bit, and I think they'll make a strong push and a good run into the playoffs. But yeah, yesterday I was like, who are these guys? Yeah,
it was too back and forth for me. Like I didn't. Come on now, let's tighten up. Both teams, let's tighten up. Like you can't have this back and forth crap the entire. Like it's entertaining for a while, but then, like I said, I'm not trying to see 52, 53 every single game.
Right.
You got to step up on defense for me. The games. Look, there's 2 phases. There's 3 phases, but that's what is entertaining to us. It's football. So you're not just watching the offense the entire time. You're watching the offense and defense work and be successful. And some of that success is being taken away by the refs. And some calls this year. We've seen it. And it's not just the Bears. It's not just the Bucs.
No, it's across the board.
Game that we've seen. It's like it's horrible. Last week happened to both teams in the Bears game that we watched. Referee standing there while the clock's not being reset. You see,
he's actually standing over the ball with 3 seconds left on the play clock
and refuses to move out of his way. And then all of a sudden, a flag. Like, what the hell is that? Like, what kind of dog and pony?
And there was 2 of those. One for each team.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Don't get me started on the refs, bro. Don't get me started on the refs. This has been the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast. I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles. We will see you guys at the half of Bucs and Lions. I hope it's a good game.
Man, me too.
Like I said, Bucs just run the football. Just try to find a way to run the football, and I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, just need to hit the gas.
Yeah, hit the gas. Anyway, guys, until then, we will see you later. This has been the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast on SportsZone Chicago.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
I just heard my favorite band is in town. I'd love to get good seats, but everywhere I've looked, the ticket sites have crazy service fees.
Haven't you heard of TixSplits?
Who?
TixSplits. They don't gouge you with crazy fees. The price they advertise is the price you pay, plus a small delivery fee.
Never pay service fees again. Go to TixSplits.com today. TixSplits.com. Guaranteed seats, low prices. That's TixSplits.com. Every ticket, every venue, everywhere.